Now you heard that I like Ford Model A's and stuff. The reason why is I think it was the Ford Model T or the Ford Model A. They had like over 5,000 cars. Like no, 50% of the world had a Ford Model T. Yeah, 50% of the world had a Ford Model T. And I was like, it's a good production car, but I don't want to break my hand by doing you know how you start with the handle. I don't want to do that because I heard a lot of stories that people grabbed it, yanked at it, and broke their hand because it kicked back at them. And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't want that, so I'm like a Ford Model A. The reason why is, well, I like Ford. Um, you can get it in like red or something, but mainly it's always black. It's a good quality car. It looks really cool and neat. And I like in the last thing, I like old stuff. Like you know I like records. And I just have a obsession over cars. No joke, I collect antique Hot Wheel cars. And I have over 200, no, probably over 300 Hot Wheel cars I collect. And they're vintage ones. That's how obsessed I'm with cars and planes. And I'm obsessed with anything that has a moving part to it, like has an engine in it. Anything that has an engine in it, I like it for some reason. Which is my type of deal. Now, anyway, back to the Ford Model A. The reason why I want it, or which one I want too, they have like the sedan. I don't want that because, you know, no trunk space, no grocery space you can put stuff in. Now, there's one that's called the Coupe, and the Coupe has just two-seater, and it has a trunk in the back. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll get a Coupe because I'm probably going to be the only one in there and won't have a family or something like that. And maybe I will, maybe I won't. And it's just made for me. And I'll be cruising around in this small town I live in and all that. And then I'll talk conversation on my book. So what I'm writing on this book here is a lot of these people in here make jokes about the war. And I know it's like, you don't need to worry about the war and stuff, all that. They're just making a joke. But some of them take it very seriously. They're like, the war's fun and everything. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's blood. There's blood involved. It's like hell, basically. And that's why I'm doing D-Day, because it's the bloodiest war in history. And my grandpa was in it, so I'm like, well, why don't I just write a book? And I'm like, these people are saying, well, Pearl Harbor was fun. Let's reenact Pearl Harbor. I know they're doing it just role playing, but some of them go too deep into it. It's like, well, I like Hitler and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay. And then they keep on going about these war-related questions, and I'm like, dude, this guy needs to stop doing this because it's not a joke. It's real life. Well, not obviously this, but just real life, honestly. So, yeah. And if you're one of those guys that do that, just, I'm not trying to offend anyone by that. I know you guys have your own opinions and do all that stuff. But, just stop doing those worry if you do like a question on the war, like what's the V1 bomb? The V1 bomb was a buzz bomb, and they called it a buzz because it made a buzzing noise. And it was, I think they would launch it on the ground. It was like a first technology of basically like a guided missile with an engine on it, and it would go boom, explode. I heard that one of my favorite Big Bang people are Glenn Miller. He was at a hospital, and at that hospital there was a lot, people and everything. He left one day. The very next day, it got bombed by that buzz bomb. I'm like, wow, that could have killed him. Of course, he died in a plane. We don't know what happened. Trying to figure that out. But yeah, if there's like a question like that, so what's this type of thing or something like that, I try to put all of my brain power and knowledge to figure out, okay, what is that type of plane, or what happened, like the Battle of Midway and everything. Pearl Harbor, D-Day, invasion of Poland, all that stuff. I kind of go deep into it because what you might call me is a history geek, literally. I just like history so much, you can tell, because I like old planes and stuff. And I live near where, I live where this only plane right here is surviving in our museum. I don't live in there where that's at, but I live near it. And I'm like, wow, and we have like an X-15 too. And I like the history of all things. Like, I watch this YouTuber called Heist. He does like train stuff with Railroads Online and Derail Valley. And I'm like a train geek, but he's like smarter than me type of train person. Like, I like the big boy. Go ahead and look that up if you want to. It's a pretty big plane, which it was made in Lima Works, which they also made tanks in Lima, Ohio. Yes, I'm in Ohio. You can make that joke about all of Ohio, okay? That's fine. So, yeah, I'm just a basically history geek, and I love history. Especially about the war. Uh, 2218's a YouTuber. I also fly with Kuza. I think, yeah, that's how I say his name. Correct me if I'm wrong, because aviator. I'm always like I'm always escorting him, and I just like escorting people. He's a nice person and everything, and I like being by him because that. It's like most of the other people are not a lot nice. Like, sometimes he gets angry. Not to offend you, Air France, if you're watching this. But yeah. Let's just say I'm one of the nicest people on this game. Literally, the nicest. So, I always escort him. I use my F-22 and escort him. He's just a nice guy. Well, I think that's going to be all, folks. That's that. I'll just say bye. Thanks for watching.